And we're joined in studio by the Billy Monama, who is a jazz artist, composer, a guitarist, and we're going to be chatting to him about his 23-year music career and his achievements. He also participated in the event Jazz on the Hill, which has a special meaning for him, sharing his music with others. Billy, welcome to Newsworld. Thank you for joining us. 23 years of music experience. How old are you? I mean, you're so young. And I think that's one of the things that makes you so amazing. Is when you know, looking at that and seeing you perform on stage. It's this young man, and it's jazz music. I mean, people our age, jazz is not really a thing. You know, people don't really listen to, young people don't really listen to jazz or appreciate it. But 23 years of jazz experience, I mean, that is an achievement.
Yeah. Is it an achievement? That is why I'm making a meal out of it. You know, I started playing guitar in 1997. Yeah. So when I started playing guitar, I was, you know, under the great wings of greatest musicians. Yeah. I mean, I worked with the greatest musicians, older musicians. Every time I will be in a band, I will be the youngest one. Yes. So you must understand. So I mean, I worked with. Man, I don't want to give you a list of.
You've worked with some great icons. I mean,
greatest icons, from the Abdullah to the Tony Klassen to the Dorothy, you name them, from older generations. I mean, sort of from the older generation and younger generation. You know, I played hip hop as well. I've been at the awards ceremony. I've done all kind of music. You know, so.
But jazz is your first love. It's your. There's also a very special element to your music, and you're trying to how can we say, preserve South African guitar and our South African music and that style of music. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, you know, jazz gives us you know, freedom to express ourselves. You know, unlike other styles of music. You know, and growing up, I grew up listening to different kind of music. And one of the critics asked me that, one of the journalists asked me that, why didn't you play kwaito at that time? I'm like, no, because the music that was what was at my disposal, it was the music of the Abdullah Ibrahim, the Ntemi Pileso, Mahona Tsohle, you know, and yeah, I mean, like the greatest musicians of that time, you know, so. That's what made me to, you know, draw attention to the guitar, because guitar was too much dominating in the music style, I mean, of the time, you know, that is Mbaqanga and Marabi. So now, when I was at school, I was given an assignment to go and research about South African guitar style. When I arrived at the library, I'm telling you, all the libraries, I'm telling you, everywhere on the internet, there is no South African guitar book that speak in depth about South African guitar. There is no, at the libraries, there's no South African guitar book. Then I questioned myself, how come I learn about European or American curriculum at school, yet my heritage music is not yet documented?
That's often the problem with many things, you know, on the continent and in South Africa, is you learn a lot about, like, it's very Eurocentric. You never learn about what happens back home in our cultures and our traditions and our music influences. And I suppose that's why you started Grassroots Project.
Absolutely.
Tell us about Grassroots Project.
The Grassroots Project is a I want to speak like a politician.
No, but you're a jazz activist. I mean, come on, own it.
The Grassroots Project is a revolutionary project. It's a project that is set to revive South African music. You know, and it has like two segments. You know, so now the first one is I do performances, you know, around the festivals, you know, and I do workshops. I do tutorials. I travel. I did a tour at varsities, from all the varsities.
Teaching people the South African style.
Yes, absolutely. Doing workshops about South African guitar, you know, styles.
What makes South African guitar styles unique? I mean, I heard, we watched that clip and I heard, and it's beautiful to watch you on stage. You're like our version of Michael Bublé here in South Africa. But what makes our style of guitaring and jazz music so special and so different?
Man, look. Each and every country, it has its own way of, you know.
But we're extra special.
Yes, absolutely. You know, when I was in France some time ago, I think it was like 2010. When I was in France,
Yeah.
and those people, they were so curious about me playing my sound, the guitar, that where I come from. And then I tried to impress them that, no, look, I can play jazz. They're like, no, man, we wanna hear the music from where you come from South Africa.
I was in France recently, and there is this
Yes.
obsession with the African music, African-sounding music there. Do you understand why that is?
Because in South Africa, we are black people who we are about how many? There's Venda, there's Shangani, there's Tonga, there's Tonga, there's Zulu, all this. One of my friend who is the lecturer in Norway, she said to me, her name is Shannon Moje, I'm going to call her out. She said to me, Billy, why do you want to sound European? You know that she was saying that, I'm quoting her, that she was saying that me, I'm an Afrikaner. I don't have all this diversity.
Yeah.
You are an African. You can play all this kind of music. You have a rich cultural background. So please use it so that you can be an outstanding, musician from others.
Billy, and is that why you're preserving this heritage? Is this what it means?
Absolutely.
To you? Yeah.
So that we want to practice what is called African restoration. So that, because what is happening right now? Our kids, they go to school, they learn English there at school. They don't know the vernac. And then when they come back home, we need to speak to them in English so that they can practice and master it. But I understand that one. But if we kill everything that is heritage, then we're going to have a lost generation, because in the 20 years' time, they will say that we were once Africans.
All right, Billy, I also want to talk about, and you mentioned earlier,
Yes.
some of the icons that you worked with, and you wouldn't be doing any justice if you'd gone through a list of all the icons you've worked with. But I'm interested to know what you've learned from working with these legends. It's looking at you now, how
Yes.
you carry yourself, your music, and
Yes.
how passionate you are about
Yes.
jazz. What did they impart in you? What stands out for you?
Man, to look good. To not just go, when you go somewhere, when you leave your house and say that you're going to be on stage, people, they pay money, man, to come and watch you. They don't want to watch someone who is filthy on stage. I remember there was a show, a tribute to Miriam Makeba, some long time ago, and then Mom Abigail Kubega, she said to me that, my child, we were brought up in a style. When you go on stage, you are fully dressed, you are dressed nicely. She was commenting on some artist who was on stage who was wearing a mini skirt.
Yeah.
It's like, look at that. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that I've learned. And also a discipline. Most of the musicians, they died from, the reason why I went to school to learn music, it's not because of the guitar playing. There's other things, like aspects like history of music, there's theory, and there's other things, music business. So now, in the history, you get to learn and understand the uprising and the downfall of the musicians. So now, when I'm with those living legends, they tell me the stories of their fellow band members who died from drug abuse, who died from alcohol abuse, who died from so much.
It's the plight of the creative mind.
So I had a conference with myself that, no, I don't want to follow those steps of those people who are late. I know that one day we're going to die, but I don't want to have a shortcut of my life.
Yeah. All right, so we've got Billy Monama in studio with us, guitarist, jazz activist, performer. I want to talk about some of the festivals that you'll be performing at. You also have a performance for us. I want to talk a little bit more about, what inspires your music. I know that you also started in the church choir as well. You say you've been playing since 1997, 22 years of experience. So we're going to take a short break, but when we return, Newswell is going to be treating you to a performance from a legend. I can call you legend. Billy Monama.
They call me a young legend.
Young legend. There we go, young legend. I don't think you'll tell us how old he is. You won't tell us, right?
No, not today, over a glass of something.
Okay, over a glass. There we go. Okay, cool. We'll be back soon.